1-0 für St. Pauli.
Too bad. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, welcome back in the year 2002 when the world-famous Weltpokal-Sieger, Besieger was born. For those of you who are not familiar with German, you know, the Germans like to simply put words one after each other and then it suddenly makes sense. So, the Weltpokal-Sieger, Besieger is an international cup winner defeater. So, back in 2002, there was this international cup where Bayern Munich played versus the continental champion of South America, and Bayern Munich managed to beat them, so they were the Weltpokalsieger, international cup winner, and then it was the 1. FC St. Pauli, and I'm looking to my friends from Hamburg, you know them, yes, who managed to beat this giant in German soccer, FC Bayern Munich, with 2-1. I think back in those days, Bayern Munich did not win the National Cup due to this loss and other loss, Aaron, is this right? Yes. So I'm very, very happy that after Mark Gallagher, we now have another star in sports here live on stage today at Xperience 2018. So please give it up for the former trainer of 1. FC St. Pauli, Mr. André Dörr. Hi, André. How are you?
Matze. Fine. Great to be here.
It's always great to be here. Let's take a seat. André, back in those days, you managed to beat this German giant, Bayern Munich, to defeat them 2-1 in an outstanding match. And I think everyone in the room wants to know, how did you do that?
I must say it was pretty straightforward. So at the beginning, you must identify the weaknesses of your opponent. So in case of Bayern Munich, we knew the goalkeeper was not the best one.
Obviously, Oliver Kahn. Yeah. Can you remember Oliver Kahn? I think he wasn't a good goalie, was he?
No. And second one was the defenders were not the tallest ones. No. So based on this knowledge, we could choose our tactic, our formation, and we decided to just simply play long balls to stress the defense.
That sounds easy.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we know the weakness, choosing the tactic, formations, and at this time we had a bunch of really good players. We had to choose the best players for this tactic, for this formation, and we reached our objective.
That sounds easy. I don't know why no one manages to beat Bayern Munich nowadays if it's that easy. But just 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, there was the news that it was actually you who placed a bet of $10,000?
Yes.
On this game, on your team?
Yes.
I think everyone here in the room wants to know, how could you be so confident that your team will win?
Of course, I was not confident that my team will win. But at this time, I knew that the probability that our team will win was definitely higher than bookmakers estimated.
Okay, so share the knowledge with us. How did you do so?
It's pretty the same. So identify the weaknesses, choose the tactics formation, and choose the correct players. Okay,
so please tell me, what are the weak spots of a bookie if you have a look at the other team? The goalie is a crap, maybe the defenders aren't the tallest one. What are the weak spots of a bookie?
A bookmaker has one special weak spot, and these are underestimated bets. So the guys at the bookmaker are really good in calculating the probabilities for the different outcomes. But as many may know, the bookie does not play just against one opponent. He plays against many, many opponents at the same time. That's why he has to adapt his probabilities, his odds to the market. And the market, the people are not always so intelligent to choose the correct
Maybe
outcome.
because they're fans of Bayern Munich and placing bets on their team?
Yeah, that's a typical case. So
Okay.
many people just have a favorite team, often the big team, so they say Bayern Munich against St. Pauli. Come on, they will win, definitely. Yeah, and that gives the result that they have to adapt the probabilities, and this is something you can use for you and gain an advantage against the bookmaker.
Sounds easy.
Yeah.
So after talking about the weak spots of the bookie, so you said the next thing you need to do is to find the right tactic. When talking about soccer, or how the Europeans say football, there's something like 4-4-2, 3-5-2. That's a tactic, but what kind of tactic do you choose to beat the bookie?
When we are speaking about sports betting, professional sports betting, the tactic is, of course, a technical tactic. So your objective is to also calculate, estimate the different probabilities for the outcomes. So you need some kind of predictive analytics. And many guys who do such things like predictive analytics are R programmers, Python coders, and something like that. So I'm no R coder, I'm no Python programmer or something like that. I know how to handle data. And that's why, for me, I have chosen a tactic which I call the AAA tactic, the Advanced Agile Analytical Tactic. So for advanced, we have a big amount of data, especially for predictive analytics. We must know many facts about the different matches and everything else. And so we need an advanced database which is able to calculate, to operate the whole amount of data very fast. And then we have not only the data, we have also we need different models to calculate the probabilities. So we have changes. We must every time we must adapt something. So we need an really agile development that we can react fast enough. So that's why we put on top of the Exasol a data vault as a modeling technique, as a data modeling technique.
Sounds interesting. I should have a look at those two technologies later on, maybe after this presentation.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And then we have a fast database. We have the data in a data model, and on top of that, which is the best one, I think, I used the capabilities, the analytical capabilities of Exasol to implement the models on the data and do the whole calculation prediction on the data inside the database.
Cool. That sounds nice. Tell us more about that.
Okay, I tell you something more. So, of course, when you get the whole data for this tactic, you at first just put all your data inside your database and store it so that it's available. And after that, you go on and build your variables for your models, for different models, and do the prediction. And that's something where data vault as a modeling technique plays a big role, because it's really flexible by doing such modeling. So when we are talking about football, we have some business objects. So we got a match which is played between different teams in a season and in a specific league. So, and then comes the magic of data vault. Data vault differs between the objects and the whole context around these objects. And that enables you to easily expand or change this model. So if you got a starting point with these objects, and you got, for example, some new information for the team, you just add it, or you have some new variables, want to test some new models or something like that, you just add it. And it enables you to compare models, to have an agile development for new models, new variables, and that's really great, I must say.
That sounds really interesting. Yeah. So now we have the weak spots of the bookie, we have a tactic. So you told us the next thing we need is the right player. Yeah. But thinking about soccer, maybe Oliver Kahn is not a good goalie, maybe Lukas Sadecki is a better one, or maybe Simon Hensler is a better one. Which kind of player did you choose to beat the bookie?
In predictive analytics, we are not talking about players anymore, we are talking about models. So we can basically, in predictive analytics, we can differ between 3 different types of models. So we've got statistical models. Statistical models are, let's say, some kind of static models based on statistical calculations which try to define the reality. Sounds simple. Second one is the machine learning, and third one are neural networks. These are both models which are trained. They learn, they learn from the past. You get some data from past matches and everything, and you can train this model, and they learn something out of the past and try to predict the future.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Shall I explain some examples for the different models?
I think everyone wants to learn more about that.
Yeah. So it was, I think, 1.5 years ago when I started this sports betting project, let's say so. I started with some real simple models. So at first I tried some simple machine learning models. So a rating model. A rating model is just a definition. You give a specific match a rating. In this case I used the goal superiority model. This model, you have a rating based on the number of goals a team can score or concede. So, and when you got a rating for this match, you can over the past calculate how many or how high is the percentage of home wins when the match has such a rating. Yeah, and then you can use machine learning algorithms for regression analysis to predict the future. If you get a rating which never happened in the past, you can use these machine learning algorithms to predict the future. Yeah, but I must say, as I said, it's just a simple model. So it's easy to use, it's easy to understand. It is a good base indicator that you know which team is a favorite in a match, or how rough the percentage is, the probability is that it will win. But it is not enough to beat the bookmaker. It provides you no steady profit. Just when you gain profit, it's just pure luck in this case. So that's why I switched to the next model, and this is one I'm still using for sports betting. It's a statistical model based on the Poisson distribution. So in the 90s, back in the 90s, there were some intelligent mathematics and statistics guys who recognized that the average goal distribution in a football match suits a Poisson distribution. So, and this knowledge you can use and calculate at first team strength and some expected goals, so some variables, and then with help of the Poisson distribution, calculate the probability for each single score, and so also for the outcome of the match. And it is better to gain a profit against or gain an advantage against the bookmaker.
But Andre, just please wait a second if I have a look there. What happened there in the year 2017? Suddenly the lines fall down.
Yeah, of course, I must say, the last season there was a special situation where I recognized a weak spot of my model. So FC Cologne last season had a really terrible season. So
yeah, for those of you who don't know, Cologne made it to the International Cup the previous season, and next season they will play in the second division. So if you see our product manager Jens, say hello, he's coming from Cologne. So playing an outstanding season followed by a very bad season.
Yeah. And so during this season and during this decreasing performance of Cologne, I recognized that the Poisson model is not very well suited for fast-changing performance trends. That's the part I'm currently working at. I'm currently working at a new model, which is a well-suited use case for neural networks. So when analyzing this performance trends of Cologne, I use the so-called MACD analysis. MACD analysis is normally used for stock markets to analyze trends in the stock market. But fortunately, I recognized that it is also possible to use this analysis to analyze the performance trends of football teams. So, for example, you can really see the decreasing performance of Cologne in scoring goals in the past season.
It's obviously there.
Exactly. And so, because with such an analysis, you get a huge amount of data. You got several time series, sliding windows, stuff, and something like that. So that is really well suited for a neural network. So a neural network is able to really gain knowledge based on the most complex data. And I will see what the result will be.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to get some knowledge later on from you. So now we have spoken about the tactics and the players. When thinking about soccer again, it's easy. You have a goalie, he will do the goalie. You have strikers, they will pay the strikers. How do you put your models into your AAA tactics?
I must say, this was really simple. So you have the statistical models. As I said, that's just a statistical description of the reality. So you can just use this statistical models and implement it via user-defined functions inside the database and on the fly do the prediction. Then in the second case for the neural networks and the machine learning algorithms, these are models which must be trained. So as a result of training, you get, for the machine learning algorithms, you get the trained model. Then for the neural networks, you get the weights of the different neurons and the architecture of the neural network. And this one can provide it into the database, just put it into the database, and after that, the prediction can be done again via user-defined functions.
That all sounds very simple.
Yes.
May I try to sum this up?
Yes, of course.
I think you wanted to tell us that you used a thin architecture, you used one software technology, an Exasol database, and a modeling technology like Data Vault. And this allows you to do agile development, add further things like maybe the weather to your model and so on. And then, let's say every Friday, you use this model to predict on the fly what outcomes you can get on the weekend. I think you not only doing the first German league, you're doing the French league 1, 2, 3, so where teams are playing which I never heard of. And then you use the parallel execution engine of Exasol because this is a lot of data actually. If you do this not only for one single league, you have to process all the historical data. Is this correct?
Surprisingly, you have a good technical understanding for a sports interview.
No, thank you, Andre. Thank you, Andre. So, Andre, it was great to have you here at the Xperience.
It was a pleasure.
So, I hope you all got an imagination on how to beat superior opponents. Find the weak spots, find the tactics, choose the right player. That's it. If you want to do this with data, feel free to reach out to Andre or me. Andre is not the former trainer of St. Pauli. I'm not working for Xports. This company does not exist at all. So feel free to reach out to the two of us if you have further questions on this. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I'm really looking forward to who will win the partner prizes. So thank you very much for joining and have a good afternoon. See you later.